You. How dare you?
My teacher, Thank you. But are you certain that... No. Now isn't the time for discussion.
Words cannot properly express my gratitude, Professor.
So, this is the choice you have made. You are just another failure. Your presence soils this holy tomb and disgraces my brethren. I will not allow one who would lend our enemies strength to wield the power of the goddess Sothis. I have passed judgment, and now I shall rip your chest open and take back your heart myself!
That must be the Immaculate One.
Yes. The monsters that have controlled Bodlin in secret for far too long. Rhea is their leader.
There's no time to waste. Your Majesty, Professor, we must escape while we can.
We somehow managed to escape.
This is one of the Imperial Army's provisional camps. Here we can organize our forces.
Before we go any further, I want all of you to really ask yourselves if you're certain you wish to join us. As expected, Flayn has chosen to leave our ranks.
When I saw our professor running off, I ran about as fast as I could to catch up.
Caspar, death finds those who run without thinking. You gave no thought to the war fog. My grandfather was the leader of Brigid, and I hope for us to be allies with the Empire. I will be staying.
Was this a good idea? Did I make the right choice? Oh, but my family is part of the Empire, and our professor is here.
You're fine here with us, Bernie. Though it's true certain houses were against the Imperial Princess.
I assume you're referring to my family. I must believe that the conclusion I came to was the correct one. You are the Emperor now. I am the only one left who is qualified to guide you at this point.
I'm only here because I know it would be troublesome to stand against you.
I'm not just here for you, Adi. I'm here to follow our dear professor. Of course, I don't have any territory to offer, so Hubie may not even want me here.
The greater our numbers, the better. Your reasons for being here are of no consequence.
I think I understand where you're coming from. But now, I wish to hear of your resolve. Like you, I have risen to meet my destiny. I cut this path, and I will see it through to the end. Following me is akin to pointing a sword at the goddess herself. One misstep, and we fall to our ruin. You have now witnessed the Archbishop's true self. She is a cruel beast. Those who rule this world use that beast's power to fabricate miracles, all to control those who blindly believe in the goddess. They conceal the truth and force their lies on the nobility. They mercilessly annihilate anyone who defies them. I know this because I have lived it. After what you have seen, is there any room for doubt? The Church of Seiros has great influence and power. Their control over the lords of the kingdom and the Alliance is nearly absolute. We are the only ones who can stop this indomitable enemy that has plagued our world for ages. We fight for humanity, for all of Bodlin. If you dare walk this path with me, take your first step. It's now or never. Thank you, my friends. We are the true face of the Empire, and we will triumph!
That was incredible, Lady Edelgard.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm relieved. They really chose to follow me. I was resolved to move forward alone if I had to. But in my heart, I hoped it wouldn't come to that.
So long as I am here, you will never be alone. Please do not forget that. And it would seem that the Professor also has a key role to play in this.
You're right. Now, I must speak with our dear teacher. Please, make preparations. The messenger should be here shortly.
Consider it done.
Professor, May I speak with you? I appreciate it. I'm just anxious. It feels like the weight of this burden is crushing me. At this very moment, on my orders, I'm starting a war. An army far larger than the one that attacked the Holy Tomb last month will soon be locked in battle. Long-devised strategies are unfolding across Fodlan. Leaders are deciding their loyalties and preparing to fight. So many generals and soldiers will die. It's inevitable that civilians will get caught up in the chaos as well. There will be countless casualties. With a single command, the flames of war will rage across all corners of this realm. And I am the one who is giving the order. Yes, it is. There is no turning back. No matter how much blood flows at my feet, I will not relent. We must break the bonds that the depraved church has placed on Fodlan. These sacrifices will allow us to create a future where we never need sacrifice again. It may seem contradictory, but it's the only way. Listen to me. I made up my mind long ago. Yet here I am, seeking your approval. Tell me the truth, my teacher. Are you happy with your decision to stay by my side? Unlike me, you can still walk away from all of this. This path leads to the death of the Archbishop and the servants of the Church. Can you live with that? I never thought... I'm sorry, it was a foolish question. I believe in you, Professor. And you believed in me. With that knowledge, I have the strength to keep fighting. Let's go. There's something I need to say to Hubert.
Your Majesty, the latest report indicates that our main army is advancing as planned. Also, the preparations for your manifesto are almost complete.
We will be distributing our manifesto to every lord within Fodlan. We will expose the dark side of the Church of Seros, and the foul practices of the nobles from the Kingdom and the Alliance. We will force the people of Fodlan to open their eyes to the truth, and relinquish any remaining conviction to unite against the Empire. Certain nobles have already offered us their support.
Yes, there are other nobles who oppose the Church. We will condemn those who deserve condemnation, and forgive those who deserve forgiveness. We have already purged some of the Imperial nobles who are morally rotten. My father among them. How unfortunate.
And soon we will invade and conquer Garreg Mach. Our main army has already departed the Imperial capital. They will arrive at the monastery in 2 weeks' time. There, we will join forces with them. As for us, I'd like your opinion on how we should be positioned within the army.
Your Majesty intends to fight alongside the Professor, correct? In that case, you will not be incorporated into the Empire's main army. Your squad can move freely about the battlefield under supervision of the Imperial forces. That would be most prudent.
Now that I'm the Emperor, we can't let it slip that I'm following your command in battle, Professor.
I fully object to the notion of you fighting on the front lines.
Hubert, we've already discussed this.
My apologies. I overstepped.
Now that the details are settled, all that's left is to come up with a name for ourselves. In honor of our time at the Academy, how about we call ourselves the Black Eagle Strike Force? I'm so happy you feel that way. I must confess that I spent all night thinking about it. I'll leave it to you to prepare the Black Eagle Strike Force for departure. We will soon arrive at Garreg Mach Monastery. Forcing a surrender here is extremely significant, both strategically and symbolically. Of course, this is personal as well. This is where we all came together to learn and grow. I have no intention of yielding to our former classmates, so I ask that you prepare yourselves for anything.
I'm not thinking about friends right now, and I'm certainly not prepared.
Damn it, don't go around saying things that lower morale before we even get started. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's fight.
I have nothing to lose aside from my friends who are here with me. Does that answer satisfy you?
I have been ready for this since leaving my land of home. I will fight and win. How can you prepare to fight? Maybe I can prepare to prepare.
There is no reason that I should not be prepared. It is my duty to stand up and battle.
Thank you all. Now, let's talk strategy.
As the raiding force, we will attack the area nearest to the monastery. The Knights of Seros certainly won't stand down after they catch sight of Her Majesty and the Professor. At the same time, the remaining areas will be surrounded and annihilated by the main army. In other words, we are the decoy that must suppress the enemy's most elite soldiers.
We know more about the area near the monastery than anyone else in the Imperial Army. Still, we must prepare for the worst. It's possible we will have to face the Archbishop's true form, the Immaculate One. Fight with all you have, but don't be reckless. As promised, I will leave the command to our professor.
Naturally, with both Her Majesty and yourself on our side, defeat is impossible.
This will be our first battle as the Black Eagle Strike Force. All the more reason to prevail.
You will not be forgiven!
Professor, look out!
The castle is crumbling! We must escape! Professor, take cover!
Professor! You. How long do you intend to sleep? Your body is awake. Your eyes must open now, and you must find the strength to stand upon those legs of yours. Like so much rain, a pool of blood has fallen to the ground. As spears and arrows pierce the earth, it weeps. And even now, it weeps. In order to survive, they kill. And so the people of this world are lost in an abyss of suffering. They weep as well. The only one who truly knows the nature of such things is I. Or rather, you. Excuse me? Are you saying you have forgotten who I am? How dare you! Get on your feet. Right now. I'll coddle you no more. You are just like a child, always needing me to hold your hand.
Hey, are you awake? I'm just a villager here. What are you doing in a place like this? I honestly didn't expect to find someone floating away down the river.
Garrick Mach is upstream of here, but that place was abandoned.
Huh? You don't know? The Church of Seros isn't there anymore. Though, there have been some folks still living there in the 5 years since... well, you know. Regardless, the Imperial Army has taken over now. Are you feeling alright? You didn't hit your head or anything, did you? It's the ethereal moon of the year 1185. It's been nearly 5 years since the monastery fell. Tomorrow was supposed to be the Millennium Festival, but who's got time to think about things like that? Yeah, that's what I said. But with the war and the Archbishop still missing it all, I doubt there's a soul to be found who has enough blessings worth counting. Hey, slow down, will ya? Where do you think you're going? Are you crazy? The Imperial Army is there. Come on, I promise I won't say you're a coward. Just forget about going anywhere near the monastery. You just remember I tried to stop you. Got it? It's not on my conscience if you wind up dead. Unbelievable.
"5 years ago to the day. If things had continued on as they were, today would have been the Millennium Festival." Halt! Who's there? It can't be. Professor? Is it really you? But I searched everywhere and never found a trace. My teacher. What have you been doing all this time? Where have you been? Joking? At a time like this? You do realize it's been 5 years since you disappeared. Do you have any idea how guilty I felt? How broken my heart was? I searched high and low after you vanished. Although there was no proof, I somehow knew you were alive. All this time, I led everyone as best I could, and fought with all my heart. It's been a difficult path to walk alone. Welcome back, my teacher. I'm so happy that you're safe. 5 years. Such a short time, but it feels like an eternity ago. Do you still feel the way you did all those years ago? You said then that you would fight at my side no matter how many enemies we should amass. As for me, my resolve has not faltered. I'm determined as ever to see this through to the end. I will defeat the false goddess. I will save this world from those creatures and give humanity its freedom back. So, my teacher, are you prepared to stand with me? I thank you, truly. Now then, I assume you understand the situation at hand, yes? Another joke? Or are you telling the truth? I suppose you must be. In that case, I'll tell you all that has transpired as you slumbered these past 5 years. And that is where we are now. The war is at a stalemate. Dimitri is the new king of Fargus. It's clear that his territory will continue to support the church. Meanwhile, Claude's leadership has thrown the Alliance into chaos. He maintains neutrality in their internal conflict. The situation has created a deadlock. We've been awaiting an opportunity for our squadron to return to the monastery. With you in the fray, I believe the state of the war will shift immediately. The church, as well as the kingdom and the Alliance. The time has come to eliminate them all. Although we were of different houses, we were companions who lived and learned together. Some of our ranks are hesitant to battle against them. However, knowing that you're alive is sure to raise their spirits. Good. Well then, I believe it's time for a little reunion. The Black Eagle Strike Force never lost faith. They knew you were alive and have been awaiting your return. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
Well now, that face is certainly familiar. I am glad to see you alive and well, Professor.
Professor! It's me, Bernie! Do you remember me? I can't believe you're here!
I can't believe it. Is this a dream? Can we really be this lucky?
This is not dreaming. Our professor is with us again. Welcome to the back. I mean, welcome back.
Our group isn't the same without you. I am overjoyed to see you again.
It's been so long. Seeing you again fills my heart with hope.
Great! Now everything will be easy. That's great you're safe, Professor. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
Quite the reunion, isn't it, Professor? Everyone's happy to see you.
Come on, Edelgard. You must be happier than all of us combined. She took it really hard when you disappeared, Professor.
Of course, we did our very best in your absence. And there was never a day that we doubted you would return to us.
Edelgard has been leading us as Emperor. But After you disappeared, it became apparent that you were her anchor.
It gives me regret to be admitting this, but our power is not enough. The only one who can be meeting Edelgard's expectations is you, Professor.
Most impressive of all is your uncanny ability to bring a smile to everyone's face.
In the years since you vanished, we have not lost anyone from our ranks.
We all longed for your presence and your leadership, myself included.
It seems fitting to view this as a new beginning for the Black Eagle Strike Force. We already have our target.
Yes, we must eliminate the Alliance before moving on to fight the Kingdom and the Church. However, that doesn't necessarily mean we must occupy the entirety of the Alliance. House Rican stands against the Empire. Therefore, our target is Deirdre, the aquatic capital.
We must cross the Aramid River, which separates the Empire and the Alliance. To do that, we must take the largest bridge across it. The Great Bridge of Myrden. Myrden connects the monastery and the Imperial capital to the east. It is the shortest route there.
An Alliance stronghold has been built at the Great Bridge. We'll take that and then head north. At the same time, we must defeat the one who defends it, Judith von Daphne. If we can also take control of Daphne territory, it would be greatly beneficial to us. Prepare yourselves. The next battle will be a momentous one. Join me, my friends, as we begin our journey to bring peace and solace to this war-ravaged world.
We're about to commence our attack on the Great Bridge of Myrden. But first, allow me a moment of your time. It is something that I can only ask of you. Listen well. It concerns Lady Edelgard's uncle, the Regent of the Empire, Lord Arundel. Although he is currently cooperating with Her Majesty, he maintains his own sizable military troops. It seems to me that his plans differ from our own. I assume you recall a certain group's scheming from 5 years ago? Solon and Kranya. They both served Lord Arundel. Professor, I understand how you must be feeling, considering what they did to your father. I know it must be foul to even consider cooperating with their kind. However, their power is essential for us at present. Edelgard also strongly opposed the idea at first. Our enemy is the Church of Seros itself. It cannot be toppled with the Empire's might alone. Those working under Lord Arundel are extremely hostile toward the Church. And the enemy of our enemy is... well, I think you sufficiently understand by now. Until all of Fodlan is united, it is a necessary evil. As for how we deal with him afterward, time will tell. Regardless, Her Majesty and I wish to join our power with yours. You should know that in her heart, Her Majesty regards that group as enemies of herself and her family. They used her father, the former Emperor, as a puppet, and murdered her siblings with their vile experimentation. I believe Her Majesty may have told you some of this herself. That is why this was a very painful decision for her to make. I will do all I can to ensure her suffering is not in vain. And I hope I can count on you to do the same. As for all I have told you, please keep it in mind as we march forward. More importantly, I implore you to fight as best you can for Edelgard. From the bottom of my heart, I beg this of you.
You have all fought well. With this victory, we now have a foothold in the Alliance. The Imperial Army will cross the Aramid River and push the front lines forward. The fight will continue, but do not allow that to stop you from taking pride in our hard-won victory.
Ah, this should put a stop to one of Edelgard's choice phrases. Well done, Professor. I believe it was, if only the Professor were here, we could forge ahead and change the tides of this war.
Ferdinand, it is not necessary to tell the Professor such things.
We're not the only ones benefiting. The whole Imperial Army is stronger now.
Yes, It seems the Empire finally has both of its legs to stand on. Don't you agree?
You make it sound as though I can't run the Empire on my own. Perhaps it's more apt to say that the Pegasus has recovered its horn.
Judith of Daphne. What a magnificent warrior. I'm happy to have the professor back just like old times, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this cruel exchange of lives.
When there is something you must not be conceding, you must keep fighting. The fighting has been continuing for 5 years. But now I am again witnessing the professor's power.
I hate fighting, but with the professor here, maybe it's slightly less terrible? Oh, but everyone is working so hard! Stop it, Bernie. You can't be the only one complaining.
I'm glad to see everyone so inspired. It seems the reappearance of the professor has done much to raise your morale.
Do you not feel the same, Hubert? Come now, be honest with yourself. Now, we must take advantage of the situation and blaze ahead. Our path is still a long one. Professor, what is your opinion of Claude? I can't help but wonder what sort of impression he made on you. That is inarguable, and his schemes are still going strong. With them, he's managed to keep the Leicester Alliance from the Empire's grasp. Since the beginning, territories within the Alliance have been split between those who support the Empire and those who oppose it. Claude has been acting as an intermediary between the two, essentially keeping the Alliance pacified. As both sides are of equal strength, he's created a situation in which they've all agreed to avoid fighting each other and causing undue bloodshed. By carrying on as though the Alliance is united, he's minimized the Empire's influence there.
It's quite impressive how well his bold scheme has worked out. However, he is walking on thin ice. One wrong move and the Alliance will shatter. Speaking of Claude, Your Majesty, we should not delay in our invasion of the Alliance. It would seem that Claude has some fresh scheme up his sleeve, to no one's surprise.
Is that so?
Yes. The people of Deirdre have suddenly found it difficult to leave or enter the city. We can safely assume he is preparing for battle, but I am certain his plans extend beyond that as well. Do you not think we should take Deirdre at once?
Deirdre, the aquatic capital. A city floating on the ocean certainly poses a challenge. Since it's deep within Regan territory, we haven't had the opportunity to attack it directly. However, now that we have control of the Great Bridge of Myrden, our situation has changed drastically. They can no longer expand their supply line into the Empire, and so we can finally attack Regan territory.
House Regan is not only Claude's house, but also the flagship of those who oppose the Empire within the Alliance. If House Regan falls, the other Alliance lords will be tripping over themselves to join us. That is why we cannot fail to take Deirdre. Confidence is one thing, Professor, but see to it that you do not underestimate Claude. The leader of the Alliance has had many things said about him. They say he is unbeatable in a battle of intellect. I hear they call him the Master Tactician.
It's almost time to depart. Are you ready? A promising answer. Whatever happens, never allow your foe to see any weakness. We must pay close attention not only to Claude's schemes, but to the man himself. He's a master archer who wields the legendary bow, Fail Not. He won't fall easily. It's the relic of House Regan. That bow once belonged to one of the 10 elites. Professor, do you know the true story behind the legend? The relics were created by the hands of mankind. Saros collected them after killing the 10 elites. Saros manipulated the people of the world and defeated the all-powerful King Nemesis. That's the history the Church of Seros maintains. In reality, it was little more than a simple dispute. Should the one leading the people of the world be someone with humanity, or a creature that can merely masquerade as a human at will? In the end, Seros was victorious. The Immaculate One and her family then took control of Fodlan. I know this because that knowledge is passed down from Emperor to Emperor. And that is because the first Emperor is the human who cooperated with Seros, allowing humanity to be controlled in secret. Perhaps it's fate that you can wield the sword of the Creator, just like Nemesis, the King of Liberation. And that very fate will lead you to use that sword to stand against those who would distort history.
It seems they've set out from Garreg Mach, and that's sooner than expected. Losing the Great Bridge of Myrden was a serious blow. So is the fact that Teach is still alive. On top of all that, Judith. I told her to run if things look grim. Damn it. So many people will die, and by my call.
And what of it? Would you rather turn tail and run back home?
Nadir, you're really getting on my nerves. Do you have any idea how much of the Alliance adores me and believes in me?
Well, I suppose it's quite a lot. Does that mean that...
Yes, the plan is a go. I'm counting on you, Nadir. We'll make a good show taking down those who would assault Deirdre.
People say our kind may not always win, but we never lose. Let's teach them the real meaning of those words.
Now then, let's see what you're made of, Teach. Hey, Teach.
Claude!
Settle down, will you? You're the victor, after all. I could have escaped, but I decided to say hi to Teach. Nothing to worry about. Deirdre has fallen and the Alliance has collapsed. There's nothing I could do to turn things around at this point.
You want me to drop my guard around someone who evaded detection by my soldiers? Impossible. Did you really risk coming here just to say hello?
I did. But mostly I wanted to say goodbye. I'm leaving Fodlan. I dare say Fodlan would be a lot more peaceful without me around. Right, Your Majesty?
It's as you say. So long as you remain here, the faction of the Alliance that is against the Empire will continue to support you.
Too true. It's best if I leave this place altogether. I'll just have to find some other way to pay back my debt to you. All I ask is that you go easy on the Alliance. After all, no one there would dare defy you now. And please treat my former classmates well. I've asked them to cooperate with you if I lost.
Wait, did your scheming include a plan for if the Alliance lost?
You think too highly of me. It just seems that way now. Outside of Deirdre, most of the Alliance is unscathed and ready to join your superior strength. In all honesty, I was hoping to become a supreme ruler and lead Fodlan to peace myself. But that won't be happening now.
Claude.
Good luck to you, Edelgard.
We crushed him in battle, and yet... he really is difficult to understand.
Lady Edelgard, Deirdre is now completely under our control. As planned, the Alliance's affairs will now be overseen by Count Burgles.
My father is coming here? First west, then east. You sure keep him busy.
Should the others return to the monastery and prepare to face the kingdom?
Yes, thank you, Hubert. Thanks to all of your efforts, our battle with the Alliance has reached its conclusion. However, we still can't afford to be careless. We must now join the battle against the kingdom. With the strength of the Church on their side, they will prove to be a formidable enemy. More than ever, your support is invaluable. We'll need it in the days to come. But for now, let's enjoy our triumphant return.
Let's get to it!
I'm so happy that the end of the fighting is near. Too bad there's still more violence to come.
The Kingdom and the Church of Seros are worthy for fighting. I will crush them into very small pieces.
Crushing wouldn't yield a lot of pieces, but I guess it would get the job done. With the Professor, we can't lose. Probably.
Oh no. Are we fighting Lady Rhea? But she's scary, and she'll be really angry. But no way she can stay in her spooky beast form all the time, right?
If she could, she would have come and attacked the monastery as many times as she wanted.
It may be wishful thinking, but perhaps it is a power that she can only access when the situation is dire. But whether she is the Archbishop or the Immaculate One, we cannot be stopped. Half remains, but half is finished. We are certainly moving forward.
No one can stop us from pushing forward. No one. And that concludes Count Burgley's report. Just as Claude said, the Old Alliance has willingly fallen under Imperial rule. However, knowing him, there is no telling what manner of poison could be waiting within. We must be careful not to expose any weakness.
Of course, though it seems we can now attack the kingdom without issue.
True. However, you should know that Lord Arundel has entered Deirdre. It would seem he has already started collecting the relics of the Old Alliance.
Let him do as he pleases for now. It's not yet the time to chide him.
Understood. As for the kingdom, as we theorized, it is not entirely united. If we defeat the royal family of House Blathed, and a handful of other notable houses, it should fall under our control quite readily. Those we must target include the houses Fraldarius, Galatea, Gautier, and Karen.
What about House Rowe in Aryan Road, the fortress city? Will they not side with us?
The head of House Fraldarius, Lord Rodrigue, has entered the city. It is possible that he has seized it.
I see. Then it might prove too difficult to strike Ferdiad right away.
Either way, when preparations are complete, we can begin our deployment into the kingdom.
That part of the plan remains unchanged. Professor, is something wrong? This month, we must again put all of our effort into preparing for battle. I'm counting on you, my teacher. Professor, you didn't hear anything just now, did you? Of course I am. It's nothing. Nothing at all. I told you it was nothing and I meant it. It's just... well, there was a rat. I don't enjoy the company of rats. I believe I've told you about this before. About when I was held captive beneath the palace. There were a lot of rats there. To this day, I just... What? Oh, Professor, leave here at once. I recall now that Hubert needs to speak with me. I must change my clothes. Now! Whatever you do, don't look this way. Then forget what you saw. That's an order.
Raid from the north! Their flag bears the symbol of the Knights of Seros. One of our troops has already intercepted them. Your Majesty, please give us your orders.
From the north? Interesting. Could it be they journeyed through Aela, the Valley of Torment? Is the Archbishop among the enemy ranks? If so, focus our attacks on her first.
Understood.
Our enemy knows Garrick Monk inside and out. They can come and go as they please. It would have been best if we had detected them sooner, but that can't be helped. Professor, we must hurry and intercept them ourselves. I'll leave the preparations to you.
Huh. The battle looks to be rather cumbersome. We are still guarding all of Garrick Monk, but there are undoubtedly numerous secret passages and magic traps. There is still much about this place that we do not know. It is quite possible they will attack from a location we cannot anticipate.
I must head out first to give my orders. I'll meet up with you soon. Call for General Randolph and General Ladislava. Hurry!
It feels like only yesterday we called this place our home. We must show these fools the error of their ways. They shall pay for the sin of invading Garreg Mach.
Oh, but the professor is fighting alongside our foe. The same one who saved my life.
That is true. Though I find forgiveness difficult, we do owe that wayward soul a debt. However, the fact remains that because of the professor, Rhea has long been tormented. To think that the vessel of the goddess, entrusted with the sword of the Creator, could go on to... it angers me to even think of it. All that has happened has changed Rhea. I imagine it has changed the professor as well. Even if we prevail, I doubt that the Church can ever fully return to the way it once was.
Brother?
Dear Flayn, I only brought you with me because you were so insistent. Still, no matter what happens, you must not go near the front lines. If something were to happen to you, it would utterly destroy me. You are my reason for breathing. Do you understand?
I understand. If something were to happen to you, it would break my heart. I could not go on either. I cannot help but wonder if there is a way to end this without fighting the professor.
Lady Rhea, the unit that invaded the monastery has been completely driven away. We were able to make a clean sweep of those who came to attack us. However, I fear we can do nothing but retreat for now.
What of Sedith and Flayn?
Sedith and Flayn were able to escape in another direction. I have a message from them.
I am sorry, Rhea. I fear we must return to a life in hiding. I detest that person with all my heart. However, Flayn's life is more important to me than all else. I pray that you will one day be free from the burden of your work.
I see. As expected, I am the only one left. Mother, please wait for me. I promise that I will save you. The filthy thief who stole you from the Holy Tomb, I will crush them with my bare hands!
Edelgard, Your Majesty, I am so sorry.
Silence. We must tend to your wounds.
It will do no good. I can't be saved. You must know that. Ladislava has also passed. The enemy has withdrawn. You are safe now.
Understood. Good work. Another loss on my watch. As more blood wets my feet, they grow heavier with each step. Remorse, resentment, despair. I have dispensed with all such things to come this far.
And we must keep moving forward.
Hubert, tell me the status of the enemy.
The battle has ended in a draw with severe injuries on both sides. Some known commanders have been slain. Garreg Mach has not taken much damage, and so it would not be out of line to claim it as a victory for us.
Yes, we'll call that a victory. Although, I'm sure they will say the same.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, what a terrible opponent that was! Why is the church always like this? How am I supposed to train for that? It was way too scary.
When I saw the enemy enter Garreg Mach, I prepared myself mentally for death. I thought it would be a fine time to die, but I suppose it wasn't quite the time after all.
Our luck was good to have grabbed victory. The Church has great strength. We must not have grief, but must keep fighting. Can we be fighting now?
This was certainly a momentous victory. We lost a lot, but we also gained a lot. Certain lords in the kingdom have examined the situation again and decided to join our cause, changing their fealty based on just one battle. They are all a disgrace to the nobility.
Today, our enemy held many faces I knew well. If we must fight to the death with that kind of opponent, what will become of this world?
There's no stopping me. I'm ready to go strike the kingdom here and now. Everyone must see that we can easily unite Fodlan, don't you think?
Excellent job, everyone. The battle is over now. While we have sustained heavy losses, our foe has suffered far more.
Although not exactly as planned, a win is a win. It may be safe to say that there will be no more obstacles on our way to the next battle.
We will break through the Tailteen Plains and then set course for Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. The final chapter of our fight with the kingdom and the church is close at hand. The time has finally come to invade the kingdom capital. Or so I declared. In truth, we'll be advancing to a different location. Only you and the rest of the Black Eagle Strike Force can know. Please bear that in mind.
Seems you've already anticipated our intentions, Professor. Well done. Before Ferdiad, we must take Aryan Road, which lies near the border between the Empire and the Kingdom. As a city on the boundary of the two territories, it must be taken at once.
There are many mages within Aryan Road. We will also face Cornelia, a general of the kingdom. We must also contend with Rodrigue, the head of House Fraldarius, as well as his troops. Once we defeat them, Aryan Road will be ours.
I hear Cornelia has a suspicious magic weapon at her disposal. We must attack before the enemy can respond with defensive measures. That is why we are preparing an assault before even our allies are aware. Even within our ranks, there is no way to know with certainty that there is not a rat among us who would leak such information.
When Aryan Road falls, we'll focus on striking Ferdiad from both the south and the east. The deeper we carve our way into kingdom and church territory, the more favorable our position. As ever, I'm counting on you, my teacher.
Cornelia, I have a report from our scouts. The Imperial army that departed from Garreg Mach en route to the capital now appears to be marching here.
What did you just say?
The speed of the army's movement quickens. They will be here to invade within days. I just sent some of my troops to support the capital. It is likely to be a fierce fight.
How could this be? I have not heard a thing about... Oh, I understand now. I am the target.
You? Are you sure they do not mean to take Aryan Road for strategic reasons?
It would appear so from the outside. However, the circumstances are not that simple. And will you calm yourself? It will not be a fierce fight whatsoever. The sweet children I have prepared will protect Aryan Road well.
Cornelia.
Aryan Road is a fortress city that was built about 400 years ago. Originally a base on the front lines of the battle against the Kingdom, it was built using Imperial money and technology.
However, the head of House Rowe secretly planned to betray the Empire. As the fortress neared completion, it was rebuilt as a base to defend against the Empire. When the fortress was completed, House Rowe declared its vassalage to the Kingdom.
Since then, Aryan Road has never fallen. Not once. The beautiful white walls that protect it against its enemies have earned it the nickname, the Silver Maiden. In the end, that is all it is to the Empire. The Silver Maiden stands as a bitter memory.
We will now be destroying that memory. The past is the past. Now is now.
A fortress that has never fallen. I can't wait to make it fall.
How savage of you. And yet, I must say I agree with the sentiment. Let us take the sturdy Aryan Road and continue our march against the Kingdom.
An invincible fortress? Sounds perfect.
Unfortunately, it will soon no longer be invincible. The Silver Maiden's iron skin is about to be damaged. It's sad, really.
Is it silver or iron? Use your language with clarity, please.
Really, Lynn, there must be a better way to say that. Since we are attacking a heavily guarded place, we must take extra care to prevent allies from getting injured.
Thank you, everyone. I'm counting on all of you. Now, let's resume our advance.
This battle is for the future of Fodlan.
What turn of events has brought you so suddenly to Garreg Mach, Uncle?
Well, my business in the old Alliance territory had roughly finished. I wanted to see the face of my niece, who so bravely took Aryan Road. I have heard that it was done with truly magnificent tact, and that you even deceived some of your allies.
I'm happy to have earned your praise. However, to say that I deceived my allies is a bit misleading. I despise leaks of information, and there may have been a church rat hiding amongst our ranks.
Ah, I see. However, there are some unfortunate consequences. Cornelia surely planned to betray them, but she has been struck down. Truly wasteful meddling. Unless... was it your intention to kill her?
Professor, don't joke about that. The only ones we came to kill were our enemies. She used a terrible magic weapon. Dolls that she could move and fight with. Did you know about them?
Well now, if that were the case, would it not have been better to keep her as an ally? If you are only capable of such imprudence, this dark cloud might hang over the Empire's future as well.
Thank you for your concern. However, I will sweep aside any darkness that comes our way.
I will be praying. Praying that the Empire will not become another Aryan Road.
Another Aryan Road? Just what do you mean?
I must take my leave now. Farewell.
Lady Edelgard, there you are. We just received some truly shocking news. It is said that pillars of light have rained from the heavens and disintegrated Aryan Road.
Disintegrated?
It was likely some type of magic. Perhaps a forbidden art.
Hubert, give me the full report.
My apologies. I, of all people, should be able to control my discomposure. The pillars of light descended and exploded, resulting in the complete destruction of the main building and the north wall. It is believed that all key people within House Row, including its leader, were killed. Of the Imperial officers and men we kept at Aryan Road, about a third are unaccounted for.
It can't be true. So, this is my uncle's trump card. In exchange for striking down Cornelia, he has destroyed Aryan Road.
Perhaps we acted too soon in our disposal of Cornelia.
No. If we'll be fighting them soon, there's no disadvantage to weakening their forces. It's also extremely valuable that we force them to show their hand. Hubert, the investigation you made into the legend of Aelel, the Valley of Torment, this is likely what took place back then as well.
Yes. The probability is high. North of Garreg Mach, there is a valley where the earth is always aflame. Once javelins of light fell from the sky there. He pierced the earth and set the forest ablaze, creating a land of torment. We believed it may have been the work of the goddess. But it was actually an attack by those who slither in the dark. That sums up all that we know.
By gifting us that knowledge, those who died at Aryan Road will not have died in vain.
Indeed. It would be good to control the flow of this information.
True. We'll conceal this from everyone as best we can. I trust you, my teacher. I'm sure everyone has heard about what transpired at Aryan Road. The Church has displayed their cowardice by indiscriminately using forbidden practices to kill the residents there.
Their victims also include members of House Row, the Imperial Army, and many, many more.
According to our investigation, the forbidden attack that destroyed Aryan Road cannot be used again so quickly. Even so, we cannot delay our efforts. We must put a stop to all of this by the end of next month. The leader of one of the Imperial factions has already initiated an attack on the Fraldarius territory lost by Rodrigue. Soon all obstacles blocking our path to Ferdiad will have vanished.
A cornered animal is at its most deadly. We must move quickly. Next, we march through the Tailtean Plains. After that, we destroy Ferdiad. At that time, complete Imperial control over Fodlan will finally be a reality.
Oh, I'm shaking with excitement! Bring on the battle!
I understand that a confrontation is inevitable. Still, I wonder if there's some path we could take that would cause less suffering.
This is the only path for the goal we are reaching for. And so we must keep walking on it. We are walking down the path to a better tomorrow.
A cornered church? Well, count me out from any forbidden sorcery that can destroy whole cities. If only there was an easier way to get more information on crests and relics.
You are as negative as usual, Linhardt. We have but one order: to emerge victorious.
We're going to win this. We really are. After all, if we lose, everything will be terrible forever. Oh, no way! We can't let that happen!
There's a lot to worry about, but I'm sure it will all work out. We'll win no matter what!
So, Aryan Road has fallen. Rodrigue, I swear that I will not allow your death to be in vain.
The scouts have just now returned. Seems the Imperial army is marching toward the kingdom capital. Are you certain about this, Dimitri? As king, do you think it wise to intercept them yourself?
No need to worry yourself. Even if I am defeated, the Blathed bloodline will live on. And the kingdom's territory has never been rich in resources. If the castle falls under siege, our loss is inevitable. I will deploy my army onto the plains and wait for the enemy. Please position your forces so that they can flank the Imperial army.
Yes. Given the present situation, making the plains our battlefield is a logical choice. I have no objection. However,
there is only one person I am after. I have no interest in any other prey.
I will take you at your word. Erasing the other child's existence is my task, and mine alone. I will get you back, Mother. I promise.
What do you think, Lady Edelgard? Will they shut themselves inside of Ferdiad?
They will try to intercept us. Of course, Ferdiad will not fall so easily. Even so, if we were to cut off their supply line with a large army, it would eventually fall. It makes much more sense for them to wager everything on a victory at the Tailtean Plains. The same plains where the so-called divine Seros defeated Nemesis, the King of Liberation, in a comeback victory over 1,000 years ago. And about 400 years ago, the hero Lu created the kingdom by defeating the Emperor of the time on those very plains. Their goal must be to recreate that scene.
Yes, I suppose so. Although the Imperial army is powerful, if we were to compare the strength of our best to the best of the Knights of Seros, we would likely come up short. The Kingdom's army and House Blathed are also renowned for their unmatched persistence. On the battlefield, it can be assumed that their one and only goal will be to strike you down.
Are you telling me to stay off the battlefield?
Naturally. You are their aim, Your Majesty. You must know it only makes sense to keep you out of their reach.
And you must know that, at a time like this, I absolutely cannot withdraw.
Of course I know that. That is why I will refrain from asking you again to stay away from the battlefield.
The Immaculate One, descendants of the 10 elites, and other extremely fearsome foes await us. But with the help of our friends, we have a chance of defeating them. We're the only ones who can. Within our group, I am included among those with the kind of strength we need to win. I absolutely will not remove myself from the front lines. Professor, you have that same strength as well, whether or not you realize it yet. As Emperor, I must not die in this war, and it would be unacceptable to lose you as well. Until the very end, we'll survive this trial together. Understood?
Mother. Oddly, the rain has come to fall yet again. At this place. Once again. I will fight to take you back. The one who keeps me from seeing you again. I will be sure to return them to the earth from whence they came. The foolish descendant of Hresvelg, who bears her fangs at me, will suffer the same fate.
Lady Rhea.
Call me Seros now. I am no longer the Archbishop, but rather a warrior.
Yes, Lady Seros. Because of the rain, we have not yet confirmed the position of our enemy, or of the Kingdom Army.
Search the route to Furtiad. It is unlikely that they have strayed far from it. When you discover the Imperial Army's main force, commence the attack. If the Kingdom's army has already engaged, flank the enemy as planned.
As you wish.
Wait for me, dear child. I will be paying you a visit soon. When this sword has been plunged into your chest, yes, that is the very moment I long for.
I was hoping they would strike the church first. We must have miscalculated the rate of their advance. Reorganize the formation. We have no choice but to buy time until the church arrives. It will be a long battle. Are you afraid to do?
No. So long as I am at your side, there is nothing to fear.
I can always rely on you. Just watch, my friend. We will prevail. I will not fail to get revenge for all who have fallen.
I would follow you anywhere, Your Majesty. Good luck out there.
You as well, Dedue. You as well.
Your Majesty. For you, I will.
A flag of blue is flapping in the rain. It must be the Kingdom Army.
Yes. It seems that King Dimitri is leading the troops himself. However, the Knights of Seros have yet to be seen. Perhaps they have split up.
I can't imagine that Dimitri would leave the capital to the church and face us with the Kingdom Army alone. He must be planning to use the church to gain the upper hand in battle. With the rain, that must be difficult to coordinate. Still, the Knights of Seros must be around here somewhere.
And we should be on alert for attacks from the side and rear as well. Inform the entire army.
Yes, sir.
Now that I think about it, the Kingdom's army is quite different than it once was. They have taken a position of interception. In the past, the king would have introduced himself before beginning a fair fight.
A fair fight. The words alone remind me of how he once was. Don't you agree, Professor? Yes. He often spoke of such things back at the monastery.
Well, at the present, the words fair fight do not seem to suit Dimitri anymore. He dislikes making victims of his friends. But other than that, he will do most anything these days. If he stops at nothing to continue the onslaught, I cannot imagine what will become of the battlefield.
True. As soon as we can take our battle formation, we must advance. Dimitri, that past you cling to, I will soon free you from it.
Edelgard, I will kill you. You will know the regret of my father, who was killed for you. Of my stepmother, who was slain by your own daughter. You will bow your head before all of the lives you trampled for your ideals. Before you die in misery.
Your obsession with me is appalling. If you were a normal human, you would most certainly have died already. Farewell, King of Delusion. If only we were born in a time of peace, you might have lived a joyful life as a benevolent ruler.
To the fires of eternity with you, El.
Everyone withdraw immediately! Fall back to Ferdiad! The goddess is watching over us. If we hold strong, we will surely be saved. Understood. Retreat! Why do you insist on being such a loathsome obstacle? You stole my mother's heart and wield the sword of the Creator, just like that savage King Nemesis. I swear, with these very hands, I will take her back. Until then, wait for me, dear mother.
Rhea. She is our enemy, but I must admit that she plays her cards magnificently.
You mean using the goddess's name in order to boost morale?
That's true, but she also shows great skill in devising her tactics. Using the bewildered Kingdom army as a shield, while she and the knights retreated. If they ran all the way back to Ferdiad, it will be very difficult to pursue them. Yes, together we'll end this once and for all. For all the lives lost in battle, by our allies and foes alike. And for Dimitri as well. Yes, the thirst for revenge that imprisoned him was the result of my uncle's strategy. He believed that I was the cause of everything, and he lost sight of his path as king. There was nothing I could do to save him, and so, the very least I could do was... No. The Edelgard who shed tears died many years ago. Everything that's happened, it's all just part of the ebb and flow of history. The tragedy of Dusker, our days at the Academy, Father's death, and the 5 years you were gone. After all of that, at long last, we're here, at this point in time. I hope you'll stay by my side until the very end. It's time for humanity to take this world back.
So, we have finally arrived. It has been a very, very long road.
Why are you here, Uncle? We haven't prevailed just yet.
Even better. I decided I wanted to see the end with my own eyes. The very moment that humans will finally be free from the control of that false beast of a goddess.
Understood. Behold to your heart's content. Just don't get in our way.
Of course. I could not stand to be dragged into the fighting. When this fight is over, a world completely controlled by the Empire will be upon us.
Not completely. I will only do what I must. But until our reign becomes stable... Uncle, no, all of you. I believe that your power and knowledge may be essential during that time of transition.
Perhaps so. We also will do what we must. For that short while, we will lend you our strength.
Yes, we're counting on you. For now. Professor, may I speak with you? I know the timing is less than ideal, but there's something I need to tell you. I imagine you've already sensed it, but even still, I must tell you the truth of the power you wield and of what you are. I expected as much. You, like Rhea, share a bloodline with the so-called goddess. Your mother likely had some connection to the goddess, whose power has always been sleeping within you. 5 years ago, when your power awakened, I was afraid you would choose to join with Rhea. Yes, in the sealed forest, when you returned from the eternal darkness. As you know, my goal is to free our world from the control of Rhea and the other children of the goddess. I seek to obliterate her, as well as those around her who use the Church's power to control Fodlan. I swore to free the people from Rhea by striking her down, whether or not it meant making an enemy of you. And yet, you came to my aid and chose to walk with me on the path against Rhea. I was overjoyed, of course, but I was also confused. I thought that perhaps it wasn't the path you were meant to take. But I chose to trust in you, to rely on you and your strength. And now, here we are. Thank you for listening, my teacher. I'm glad I finally had the chance to talk to you about it. After Rhea is gone from this world, I don't know what will become of you. But whatever happens, I hope you know that you're very special to me. I hope that I hold a special place in your heart as well. But regardless, it's time. Let's go, Professor. Rhea, members of the Church of Seros, surely there's no need to continue this fight. What could be gained by shutting yourselves inside the capital of a kingdom without a king? I will give you this one chance, and no other. Throw down your weapons and surrender. Unlike you, I have no desire to unleash wicked atrocities upon this world.
Their silence speaks volumes. Shall we commence our attack?
I'll wait just a moment longer. There are still many residents within the city. Unlike my attack on Garreg Mach 5 years ago, the Church will not allow the inhabitants to evacuate. What the hell are they planning?
Lady Rhea, or rather, Lady Seros, the Imperial Army is calling for our surrender. Is it wise to ignore them? Perhaps we could leave Fodlan and devise another plan.
We shall not surrender. We must not lose. Even if it must split the heavens, we shall not yield to the wicked ones.
Understood. I will do as you command. You have my fealty no matter what, until my last moment of life.
I'll stay by your side too, forever.
Now, Catherine, set fire to the city. The Imperial Army will burn in the flames of eternal torment.
What? No, you can't do that!
Catherine, now.
As you wish. But is there truly no other way?
I have no patience for foolish questions. I shall sacrifice as many lives as it takes. That apostate who insists on taking everything from me will be crushed by my own hands!
That ghastly voice.
Your Majesty! There's smoke coming from every corner of the capital. It seems they've set fire to the city.
What? Damn it, Rhea. There really is no depth you wouldn't sink to. Everyone, we must commence our attack at once. Are you ready?
Preparations are complete. Just say the word.
Then we attack. We'll head straight for the castle and strike down their leader, Rhea, that vile creature called the Immaculate One. This is the end of our long war. After this victory, Fodlan will finally be united and truly free. The capital we're about to invade is engulfed in flames. Do not rush to your deaths. Survive. Prevail. Do that and we'll witness the birth of a new world. I want to see it with all of you at my side. Understood?
Of course. I will not fall and leave you without your protector. And you may live to see your dream come to fruition. For that, I shall survive and prevail.
I am carrying the future of Brigid. I will not be dying here. I will be winning. For myself and for everyone. I will be surviving.
We've been cutting our own path this whole way. There's no stopping until we reach the end. I can't die, or all my great work so far will have been wasted.
Don't worry about me, AD. I won't fall before I've found my happily ever after. Maybe when this war is over, I can finally snag a good catch and settle down.
Somehow we're already here. I wonder if the peace we secure will allow me to research as much as I'd like. If so, let's end this quickly.
Edelgard, Professor, I'll do my best for both of you. If I die here, it would be with shame and regret. Oh, I can't let that happen!
Once the world is united, I will lend my strength to both Edelgard and the Professor. To that end, I will lead us all safely to victory. My pride and duty as a noble demand no less, as do my own principles.
Imperial Army, Black Eagle Strike Force, move out! When humanity stands strong, and people reach out for each other, there's no need for gods. Rhea, your reign of tyranny is over. The time has come. I'm ending this once and for all! Is it over?